I'm good. I'm having internet connectivity issues, and I'm also babysitting.
Super cool. Marco, nice to see you. Barbara, I know you're in the background there somewhere. Thomas, you are also there as well. You are here for the Go Plus office hours from Experienceify. And so I open the floor to you and would like to know who would like to start with any questions that you may have. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, cool. Well, yesterday I connected the domain, but I'm having issues with the email, the email part. I know you did a detailed session some time back, but I wasn't able to get that recording. It's down, and I saw the last recording has also been taken down as well.
You know, what we're having a problem with is when we're doing these demos, sometimes the like an address, like an actual physical address, will show up on the screen. And so
Mm,
we haven't been doing a good job of removing those addresses. And Google,
yeah.
hey, look, you're showing personally identifiable information, and so it takes it down. So we're scrambling to go back, edit those videos, and then repost them. I actually just got off a team meeting where we spoke specifically about this, and we're going to be much more careful about that.
Yeah.
So, why don't you, if you're willing to share your screen, go right ahead and let's figure out your email problem here.
Sure. I know it should not be anything. I looked at a couple tutorials, but because I use the what's it called?
Nope. Is it my internet connection or Marco? Can you still hear me? Okay. I think Chris is the one who just, I think he did say he was having some internet issues. So, let's wait for him to come back. I will remove his sharing. There we go. So, Barbara, you have your hand raised there. Why don't you kick us off with your question?
Hi, yes, it's pretty early here in California.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get I haven't gotten emails back. I've searched my filtered mail, my spam mailboxes, but I'm needing do it for you, like migration from Infusionsoft and just getting everything set up. And I connected my business account, bank
Hmm.
account with Go Plus. And then when I went to go on Go Plus, and I haven't done much. There's a lot going on in
Sure.
my world right now.
Hmm.
Daughter's gonna have a baby any minute.
Woo! Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and other things as well. But I have a VA who's an administrator in the account, and she's been working on some quizzes, and she works with other people that have Go High Level.
Hmm.
So she, knows the system. I don't, and
Sure.
haven't been able to get in there too much. But I would like to get excuse me, an onboarding call and, talk about what I'm doing, what I'm needing, and
Okay.
hopefully this next week I can look at more of the videos and things. But when I
Sure.
went onto
And
the
so,
account, it looked different after it has my business name and not my name. And
okay.
so there's nothing in my account.
Okay.
It's like looks
I guess
brand
so.
and
I'm a little confused as to what we're trying to solve here. So do I need to contact Sebastian to make sure that he reaches out to you to get on a call to start the Done For You services, or has that already started? Or
I
what?
haven't heard anything back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's and when did you send that request in?
That was probably 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Oh my Lord.
And
That
now I know everybody's going on vacation.
right. Yeah, but that's still unacceptable. So so let me just take a note real quick to have Sebastian reach out to you.
Okay. And then I just wanted to check my account to see if I don't even know if my VA can get in there. right
Sure,
now.
absolutely. Can you let me I'm going to stop my share. I guess my sharing isn't on right now. I'm going to go in and we can actually find your account and just make sure that
Okay.
we'll look at it as you.
Hmm.
Can you do you know the let me it's loading up right now. Just give me 1 second, please.
Hmm.
Um and so do you know what's the name of the business that it is called?
My business is called Energetics of
Okay.
Eat
Yep.
Eating
All right.
LLC.
I have found it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to is it okay if I share my screen here with your
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here is so here's some of that identifiable information, right? So let's go to your dashboard. And what is it that you want to, what is it that you'd like to confirm?
Um, I just was going in here to look and see what's been happening. I'm
Sure.
sorry, the rest of you guys. I'm
No,
pretty
no,
much
no,
brand
this is
new
what
to
we're here
this.
for. This is what
Not
we're here
brand new
for.
to not brand new to Experientify. I've been doing that a long time, but um
So if I go to your settings, and
mhm,
obviously I'll blur this out when we put this on YouTube. Um, so we've got your um, first of all, it's probably a good idea to have an I in your business name there. Energetics of eating, right? That
yeah.
could be one reason. So I'm just going to update that information real quick.
Okay.
This is the business email that we have for you.
Hmm.
Is that the correct? Is that the correct
Correct.
business? Okay.
Yes.
And so when you log in to
Does that
see
say
your,
.com? It looks like it.
it does, and I apologize.
Okay, it's a thing. Okay.
It's my password service thing here.
Okay,
I should
that's
use a
fine.
computer that doesn't have that on there. So and then in terms of your staff, these are your people who can log in. It looks like
Hmm.
you've got your
Hmm.
VA there,
Yeah.
and they're an admin, so they have access to the entire account, so they can do it.
Hmm.
And then I guess you said you're having trouble logging in. Is that correct?
Not lot. Well, it just looked like nothing. It said brand new account and like nothing was happening. And I knew she was working on quizzes. Um, I have a continuing education course for certification and licensing for licensed health practitioners.
Okay. Hmm.
So they have to take quizzes and evaluation to get their hours for to
Okay.
re-up their licensing. So she's putting those in.
So it looks like
Yeah.
your quizzes
Okay,
are
so
right
it's in
here.
everything is in there. I was just concerned. Good, she's making progress.
Yeah.
Okay,
Looks like
cool.
she's got a bunch of stuff.
So how did you get there?
So quizzes are under on the left-hand side, you'll see there's
Yeah.
the sites tab. Oops, sorry.
Okay, sites, and
And
then
then
go up to the top.
you've got forms
Gotcha.
and surveys
And
and
for
quizzes.
surveys. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. I just wanted to make sure I could get in there and get access. And I only tried for about 5 minutes this morning before the calls.
No worries. Yeah, so you definitely have access. I updated the
Yeah,
business name so that it's correct. So it's
that
EB.
might have been it. Yeah.
And
Okay.
when you go to log in, you know that you go to app.usegoplus.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll just use that Barbara. How do you say your last name? Singer?
Bersinger,
Bersinger, sorry. At Barbara
unless you're in
Bersinger.
France.
So yeah, Barbara at barbarabersinger.com, and
Hmm.
it will ask you to get an OTP code, a one-time
Yeah.
password code, and then you should be able to log in.
Okay, good. And then, so do you think that I would be able to get something going? Um, I know tomorrow's the 20th. And I think everybody's off
Yeah, no,
for the
we're yeah, so
week or
that we're
two.
actually gonna be announcing this on Friday. That we're our office hours and whatnot will kind of slow down for the next 2 weeks, but we're not going to be completely gone. So I
Okay.
know Sebastian will continue to work, and so it just you just have to set up a time with him. But I will send him a specific note to follow up with you. Uh,
Okay, wonderful.
and I'm just doing it right now. You said you're looking at your email. I'm just seeing if your VA has set this up. So right now your your VA has not set up your email to go specifically through Barbara at barbarabersinger.com. So right now, everything that would be sent or received from GoPlus will come from Use GoPlus right now. Hey, usegoplus.com. So that's something that you can set up in the email services section of settings.
Mhm.
And then
How
no,
is that
no
how is
domain.
that different? Is that bringing your domain in here? So
So
my
what? So if you look on the left-hand side where I am over
yeah.
here, this column, right?
Mhm.
At the very bottom is the settings. So
Yes.
click on settings. There's
Hmm.
two places where we have to consider the plumbing of our
Hmm.
uh, services, right? The
Hmm.
first one is domains.
Hmm.
And so domains, if you put anything in this section, this refers to your website.
Yeah.
So if you connect your domain here, you are telling GoPlus, I want my domain to live here and I want my website to live here. And that is
Mhm.
an important fact because if you have another website elsewhere, you will
Yeah.
break the connection to that
Yes.
external website. So that's
Yes.
where that happens. Um, if you want to have your website elsewhere, but you still want to run funnels and you want to run sales pages or you want to run your store here, that's very possible. All you have to do is use what's called a subdomain, and that is very, very simple to set up.
Hmm.
Rather than um, putting in just your www.barbarabersinger.com,
Hmm.
you would put in
The DNS.
store.barbarabersinger.com, or you would put
Okay.
in launch.barbarabersinger. You just put a subdomain in there and then connect those DNS records, and that would leave your public-facing website okay. Nothing would be changed there, but all of your funnels and your store and everything like that would come
Mhm.
into GoPlus. So that's
Right.
a way to do it. The second place in GoPlus that to deal with domain stuff is in email services. And this is where you'd want to again add your domain. And so if you put your information into the email services, it will not affect your website at all. It has
Mhm.
nothing to do with your website. This has everything to do with how does your email get routed.
Mhm.
And if you connect your email here, that means that when you start and send and receive emails from barbarabersinger.com, they will start to appear here in GoPlus. That is the key differentiator.
Yeah. So that would be replacing Infusionsoft.
Correct.
Yeah. Good.
And then you can, then you can use funnels, and then you can use automations, and then you can use,
Hmm.
like a new email newsletter, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, I look forward to getting that set up
No
with
worries.
help. With help.
Yep. I will make sure to have Sebastian contact you.
Okay.
I'll actually just send you both an email and say, he'll reply to you. I'm sure that it
Okay.
just got lost in the shuffle somehow, and
Yeah.
he'll connect with
Yeah.
you immediately.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephen.
No worries. Chris,
All
back
right.
to you now that you're back.
Yes, and let's see Paulo. Sharing again.
All right.
Yeah. So the problem is, I looked at a couple of tutorials. The problem is these two MX and the priority.
Okay.
Um, so let's go. This is I was able to connect the domain, was easy peasy.
Okay.
Um, right, so we're here. Let's refresh.
Okay.
Right, and just the thing. So I know you did a thorough walkthrough a couple of weeks
That's okay.
ago, but I wasn't able to
So
find it.
click on dedicated domain and IP,
Right.
and now you're going. Oh, so that's the domain that you want?
Yeah, because I started yesterday, but I wasn't able to finish.
All right. So click on the place that is a little circle with three dots, and click on verify domain. So these are the records that we need to put inside your account.
Right,
And so I would copy so really, quite honestly, so we're going to create two TXT records, one CNAME record, and a couple of MX records.
right.
So the copy button on the right-hand side will only copy the value column, which is
Yeah,
great. So yeah, so I would click on copy, but
I
that
need
means,
this.
yeah, you need to actually uh, highlight and copy that part. And then let's go over to advanced DNS, add a new record, add a TXT record. And then, yeah, you're just going to copy the value in there. Shazam. Yeah, now we're just going to do that same thing for each of these records.
This was a TXT.
Correct.
Right. Okay, and the CNAME.
Yep. So you're going to have email.lc.
Right. The problem was the MX, so we'll see what happens then.
Let's see what happens with your MX record status.
All right, does this.
Whoops.
Ooh, wrong thing. How to undo?
Control Z or Command Z. There you go.
Right. Let's see how you do this one.
Let's go to MX and let's see what happens.
There's no MX.
Well, isn't that silly?
That's why I got stuck yesterday.
They don't have MX records in here. So that is super strange.
So there's A plus dynamic.
So what this is my guess is that this is a so we want to save everything. Yeah, so we've done everything correctly thus far. Let's put that last TXT record in, which even though it says it's optional, it's a good thing to have the DMARC record in there. That'll just improve your email deliverability.
I know you went through this.
It's all right. I've never seen this on Namecheap before, and I know a lot of people use Namecheap, so this is actually important for us. But my guess is that this is just a business, one of these. Unfortunately, it's what we would call manipulative sales, right? They have removed your ability to put MX records in there because they want your email business. And so they've made it hard to put new MX records in there. And so let's just, let's stay there. Actually, I want you to stay on Namecheap, please. Could you just scroll down to, I want to see what other things there are. Yep,
there's like emails that's in here.
What happens when you go over the question mark there?
More?
Okay. Hold on for just 1 second. Hold the phone. I'm gonna do what anybody else would do. Add next record to name it.
Because I was looking at other tutorials, and in the comments, everyone's like, how do you deal with the MX and a priority 10?
So, okay, so the first one is, the first thing it says, maybe choose one of the following mail settings depending on your mail service, which is no.
Say again?
Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right, so go back. So we're back in Namecheap. So down where it says mail settings, click on the down arrow where it says email forwarding and click on custom MX. And this is where you're going to add custom MX records. So let's put those in there. So lc.mxa.
1 second. Copy here.
So like I said, they've done this specifically because they want your business, right? Intent, right? Yeah, there you go.
And how do we save it?
On the left-hand side, it says save all changes.
Okay, so
Like that.
but there's another one. Okay, add new. Right.
And so click on add new record in there. It's exactly the same as the last one. It just says MXB.
But it's the same thing, you know. Maybe it's, but now you maybe it's not.
No, it says mxb.mailgun.com.
Okay.
And then just save that one. Shazam. Now all of your records are set up correctly. If you go back to Go Plus, you can probably click on verify domain. we'll see if anything, yeah, there you go. So you just have to wait for a few minutes, and the MX records will also resolve. Usually it takes, 2-3 minutes for the interwebs to do that, and then your email will be set up, your subdomain set up, and you can start using it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we figured it out.
Yeah, I'm here in the background, and I'll let you know what happens.
Thank you very much. Awesome. If you wouldn't mind stopping straight, cool. Fantastic. So EG, welcome. Marco, let's see, there's something in the chat. Okay. Anybody else have a specific question that they'd like to answer? This is your opportunity to get Go Plus questions answered, large and small. Go ahead, EG, if you have your hand raised there for that reason.
I've got all my hands raised. I'm like...
Where are you at, EG?
Step one.
No, I mean, like, where are you at? Where are you at in the world? I want to know who you are as a human.
I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, which is I do my winter hibernation in the snow instead of, in the warmth.
All right.
I'm the anti-snowbird.
I love it. I'm about to go to Colorado in 2 days, so I'm psyched to, well, my kids are psyched to get into some snow. So there you go. Right on. Awesome.
Well, it's great when you ski in it and you don't have to shovel it and drive in it.
That is great. So you're at step one. Tell me, EG, how can we get you started?
I'm not sure. I don't have access to my DNS. Like when I set up my website and stuff, the company that is hosting my website, I said, this is the domain that I want to use, and they did whatever. So the only login I have is to update the WordPress. So
okay. So
right,
what's the name of your website?
BeYourselfMarketing.com.
BeYourselfMarketing.com. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple of tricks here to see if we can figure it out real quick. I'm going to share my screen. Let's just confirm that this is you. This is what we're talking about.
Yep.
Okay.
That literally is me.
Oh, on the hill here. Okay, Shazam.
So sometimes when my Outlook goes bananas on me because I have 57 tabs open all the time, I can just come in here and check email instead of fighting with Microsoft.
Totally understand. Click on DNS functions for me, please. Let's click on DNS Zone Editor. And when you click on select a domain, BeYourselfMarketing.com, that's what we want to see. See, I'm surprised that doesn't show up in your domain section, because it should be an add-on domain there. Okay. That's great. That's great. That's great. So this is where we would manipulate things. So right now, I mean, for the sake of moving forward with Go Plus, this is the section right now. You're looking at the section right now where you would manipulate records, or not manipulate. You would add records in order to add your domain and add your email services. However, it looks like you've got a great website already set up, right? My assumption.
It's confusing. Like anytime I want to try to do something, like it's like pulling my hair out. Frustrating.
But when you mean anytime you want to do something, you mean update the website?
Well, even if I want to update the website, yeah, I mean, I usually have, because the tech stuff used to make sense to me, but now it's just like, let me just get somebody else to do it. And it's that just, here are the words, here are the photos, here's the format, somebody else figure out how the moving parts behind the scenes, right? Because it is like you are much more experienced behind the scenes than I am, and look how long it took for you to find it. Imagine me, right? Good. So that's that's why I don't have a complicated website. I'm not selling through it. And even the last person that I had kind of went into like witness protection and didn't finish setting up my blog and stuff. So it's just kind of sitting there. So if I can find a way where I can actually, easier access to not have to try to wait for somebody else to do it, or I can just keep updating and stay consistent myself, then that'd be great. But I mean, this is,
Totally get it.
yeah.
Totally understand. So you kind of have two choices. Because you now have Go Plus is a place where you can have your website live, right? So that you would, this hosting company that we're looking at right now would go away. We don't need it anymore, right? However, there's no easy way for us to import your site into the Go Plus system. You actually have to recreate it. So if you're willing to go through that gauntlet, that pain, right, of recreating your website in Go Plus, then everything happens in Go Plus, and you would be able to edit your website to your heart's content, and you can make the decision about whether or not you like that system better than the WordPress site you have right now.
So would I be able to recreate it without linking it first, just to
Yes.
kind of get familiar with the, okay.
So let's see if you, okay, I guess, where do we want to start here? So do you remember and do you know how to get to the Go Plus app? It's really quite simple. We can just go to app.goplus, app.usegoplus.com. There you go. Shazam. Okay. On the left-hand side, there is a menu item that says Sites. If you could click on Sites. It always starts in funnels because this is a marketing platform. And so the second menu item at the top is Websites. And so looks like maybe you have already looked at this, or have you, did you put this in there already? Okay. Then this was just loaded in with the snapshot when we set up Go Plus for you. But you can click on the blue button that says New Website. And you can either start from scratch. I do not recommend you do that because you would literally have a white blank screen, and then you would have to figure out where, hey, how do I put sections and columns and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So my suggestion to you would be to click on From Templates and then Continue. And you'll see that there are quite a few, literally hundreds of different website. These are full websites, right? And so
it's
maybe
pretty much the same as a WordPress theme, only it's not in
exactly
WordPress, right?
100%. Yes, exactly. Thank you very much for that analogy. So in that search for a template section there, what if you just type in marketing? So we've got a bunch of different marketing, templates that you could start from for marketing companies, like marketing agency or marketing agency services or marketing firm, digital marketing, and you can choose any like one that maybe resonates with you that, you kind of like the way it looks. And then quite simply, you can just add, you can click through and then add it to your account. And then you can manipulate it to your heart's content. You can change images, you can update the text, you can do whatever, and you can actually, so why don't you just choose one at random now? Because you can create as many websites as you like. Like there's no limit here.
Okay, it just until they actually get published, it doesn't matter. It's just kind
It doesn't
of
matter. No one will be able to see it. Peter, I'm glad that you think Go Plus is awesome. That's amazing. Sweet. I agree.
Do I double click? How often? What do I do?
Yeah, either I think you just double click on it or hit the little, there you go. And then at the top you can click on continue. And so it's going to add this template to your account, and so it'll automatically load you into the builder. So if we give it just a second. Ta-da! So now it's just, this works an awful lot like WordPress in that, as you just kind of scroll your mouse across the screen, you'll see different sections, you'll see different rows. And so literally if you click in it, you can, change the text, you can change the links, the other types of ways to manipulate the page are on the right-hand side in the settings every time you click in a section. So again, so I would,
so does the change happen here, or is it kind of like, Experientify where you see it, but then the editing happens on the side.
The change happens here.
Okay.
And so if you want to see what it looks like, to the public, and at the top, in the top header, right in the middle, there is a website URL. There's a URL. It says app.usego+. Right? If you click on that, this actually gives you a real preview. This is what the public would see.
Okay.
And so you could actually look at this in a mobile version or a desktop version or whatever. And so you can kind of continue to play with this, and it won't be visible until you connect your domain and then connect your website to that domain. So you can play with it to your heart's content.
Okay. So I would still need to get a hold of that company. Like I could link Go Plus to where I am currently, but to get my hands on the domain, I'd need to find out what they did to register my URL, right?
No, actually, right now, if you go back to the second tab that you have up there on the top. Oh, nope, sorry, the very first one. These are your DNS records. That's all we need access to, because clearly your website is hosted here. And so this is where we would add the records that are required from Go Plus to shift your website and shift your email. So that's
okay. So okay.
This is where it happens right here. I am admittedly a little befuddled that your domain doesn't show up in the add-on domains, because that's how it normally happens in a cPanel situation. But clearly, these are your DNS records. This is where it's hosted.
But why be normal?
It's just like we saw in Namecheap. Each hosting company chooses to do things a certain way for business reasons. Either then there's 1,000 different reasons, right? So, but we found it and we know it's here, and there you go.
Okay.
Now, the only thing, you weren't here a little earlier when I said this because you came in a little late to the call, but before you do any domain changes in Go Plus, you have to remember that as soon as you do that, it will affect your email, where your email is delivered to, and it will affect your where your domain lives, right? Like the plumbing of the internet. So could you go back to the Go Plus tab, which is the third tab? Yep, there you go. And click on, let's see, on the left-hand top left corner, there's a back button. There you go. So now you have this website here. Great. On the far left side there, yeah. So if you click on settings, please, where your mouse is right now. There's just two places that your domain stuff lives, and one of them is email services, which is about halfway down the page. So when you change this information, that will change where your email is delivered. And then a little further down there's a label that says domains. If you change that information, that will change where your domain lives. So those are the two places that you need to.
So I have to change them both. So I can't have as soon as I change where the website is, that impacts the email, you said. Did I understand that correctly?
No. So domains only affects where your website
lives. Okay.
Right? So if you were to put your domain in here right now and go change those records in your DNS, your website would now live in Go Plus, or the internet plumbing would say, go look for your website in Go Plus. If you change email services, that changes the plumbing for where your email is delivered and how it finds you. And so in email services,
so even though it's the same URL, right? They're two different things, so they don't kind of follow each other. Correct. They can be in different places. Okay.
Correct. So that's where we can start.
Okay.
Do you have other questions about where else to start?
Well, I mean, I tried connecting the email, but I have multiple emails. So the login for my Microsoft is not my primary email. So I don't know how to, but that's like a whole other can of worms. At least I have somewhere to start with the website.
Okay.
So I'll do that and then I'll check back. Yeah.
I was gonna say, let's start with your website. See if you like the website builder, see if you like it, and we can start with moving that over. And then the complexity of your email, it's actually not as complex as you think it is. We just have to decide, where do you want to have your email live? Clearly you're an Outlook user, and so we can continue to use Outlook It's just we will set up what's called a subdomain in the email services here, so that your emails also come to Go Plus, so that then your automations can be used and that stuff. So that's the short answer.
Okay. And so is there an extra fee for Go High Level or for you in hosting the website? I mean, beyond renewing the domain name itself, which obviously doesn't necessarily come through you, but like, how does that work with the storage for the email and the
Sure.
website?
So for your website, there is no extra fee. You have Go
Okay.
Plus, you can host your website on there. That if that's fully included, there's no extra cost for that. When you start sending and receiving emails through Go Plus, for example, through automations or for a newsletter, if you use it for a newsletter, that kind of thing, the additional fee is $1 per 1,000 emails that you send.
Okay.
So every
So
email
not
is
contacts, but literal emails.
Sorry, say that again. I didn't hear the first part.
It's not 1,000 contacts. It's the actual emails.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
So yeah, but just, and so, yeah, exactly what you just said. So anytime it sends an email, but you have to remember, so if you build automations, for example, I just remind people, if you set up a calendar in Go Plus where people can book appointments with you, and then you have a reminder that says, hey, come to the, every time one of those reminders goes, that's an email, right? So some of those emails happen in the background that you don't think about, but still 1,000, it's 1,000th of a dollar for each email.
Okay.
Or $1 for every 1,000 emails. So yeah. So again,
if I'm sending 1,000 emails and I'm not earning back at least $1, I'm doing something wrong.
That is again, the hypothesis there is the same as we use for our billing plans at Experienceify. If you are, sending 10,000 emails a month, you should probably have those emails have revenue opportunities, and you should be making enough money that the $10 we will charge you is not a big deal. That's our theory. And if you're not, then you're doing it wrong, and we should probably talk about that.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate the help.
No worries. Chris, before I come back to you, I think there's a couple of questions in the chat. Peter, the question you asked was, if you build a website inside Go Plus, does Go Plus actually host it? And the answer is yes. So there is no other hosting service. You don't have to have a outside hosting service or anything like that. Go Plus is the hosting company. Chris, glad to see that you're verified. Wonderful. So now your emails will be coming through Go Plus. Did you have another question, Chris?
Yeah. Just let me know if it's too loud in the background. I'm using Go Plus to do my website for now. Eventually, I want to have the WordPress separately. How difficult would it be then to separate what I'm doing right now? If I host a website on Go Plus and then eventually I want to move on to a WordPress site, would I be able to disconnect it?
So the short answer is no, in terms of, you can't just sort of pull your website out of Go Plus and say, hey, I want to put this in a WordPress account now, because it's a different kind.
No, just the domain.
Yes. I mean, all you'd have to do is just remove your domain from Go Plus and then reconnect it to the WordPress site that you have, and it's that simple.
Right.
I guess my question for you is, what is it that you would like to do in WordPress that is not possible in Go Plus?
Well, I've been, listening to the last, I think it was the last session you have, and someone was mentioned, I heard somewhere else as well, the SEO and ranking on the
Sure.
Google stuff, but I'm not there yet. So that's it. That's for me for now. I know of another question, surface level stuff. But I have an Experienceify question. I know I'm already running out of live courses. Eventually, I want to purchase another another account. Is that possible to have two accounts and then merge them? I guess I'm looking at that for next year.
So if you just want to have more courses, then you can just upgrade your plan to have more courses. There's no need to have two
Okay.
accounts. So just
Okay.
just contact our support team and they'll expand your account so that you can have more than 10, so it goes to 20 or 30. I'm not sure exactly what the different
Right. Okay. Good. Okay. Cool. Cool.
but if you have
Because
two
then I
accounts,
wouldn't want to have two accounts and then to join them into Go Plus would be a problem. So that's
yeah,
what
no, you
my
want to
point
keep
was.
just one Experiencify account and just expand the number of courses you have.
Right, good. Okay, I did not know that. So, okay, thank you again, and Stephen. Awesome work. I just want to say, I really appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you very much. We still have a couple of minutes left. Anybody else have a question or a burning thing that they would like to talk about? Otherwise, we could, we can keep working with EG or whatever.
Yeah, I have a question. Did I understand you correctly when you were just talking with EJ that you can you could move an email account over without moving the domain?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's what I need to
So
do then.
ultimately, this is what. So I'm trying to think of a good analogy for you, right? So in EJ's case, she uses Outlook as the place where she goes to check email, right? Many people use Gmail as the place where they go to check email.
Yeah.
Some people use other services.
Stephen,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Did I?
Um,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, Peter. Yeah, just give me 1 second to finish this analogy.
Sorry.
So ultimately, if we look at, I use Outlook or I use Gmail, that doesn't matter. Just think of that. There's a place where you go to check email. When we connect your email services to Go Plus, all we're doing is we're saying Go Plus can also listen to your email conversations, right? So your email conversations will still happen in Gmail or Outlook. There's one difference. When you connect your email services to Go Plus and you start using automations, right? Or you start sending email directly from the Go Plus platform, the synchronization happens, but because we use a subdomain, the plumbing of the internet does not necessarily let it all synchronize all of the time. There's a fairly, a 2-paragraph complicated answer around that, but suffice it to say, you'll want to add what's called a forwarding domain, so that you can make a choice where if you add a forwarding domain, you can have everything show up in your Outlook or your Gmail, and then that's what I do. So, no matter what happens, if somebody replies to an email, it always shows up in my Gmail inbox, and that's totally acceptable, totally fantastic way to do it. Or you have to decide to make sure that you check Go Plus every day to make sure that you're watching for any conversations that were missed in the synchronization process.
Okay.
It's one of those, it's not perfect simply because the web is not perfect in terms of how the plumbing works. But to circle back to the very beginning, if you like living in Gmail and that's where you want to have all of your emails show up, we can make that happen. And you just, what we do is we add what's called a forwarding address in the email services, and then all of your email will come there. And then you just live in Gmail. You don't ever have to go to Go Plus to look at your email or your communications.
Okay. I know that's how I had my email set up from my previous website, but the problem was it was still collecting all those emails in the email system. So I did have to log in to the cPanel every once in a while and delete all of those because they got forwarded, but they were still also on the server. Does that make
Which
sense?
shouldn't matter. Usually when you have hosting services like Namecheap or those kinds of things, you can just have what's called an unlimited mailbox. And you should just be able to have an unlimited amount of space there. If you don't,
there's not an issue of it filling up the server space or anything. Okay.
No,
apparently that wasn't true with HostGator because I did have to go in there and clean it out. 2 other things. Where do you check the emails when they come into Go Plus? Do they have an email thing interface that's easy? easier than having to log into the cPanel and use one of those
Sure.
text-based.
Mhm. So yeah, so I recommend that you use the conversations tab. So if you
Okay.
um
You don't need to demo it right now, but I just
well,
was
I'll show you.
curious.
So over here, conversations is where all conversations happen.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure if I have any because this is just a demonstration account. Let's see, I'll go to recents. But you can see that there are a few messages here. And so you can, for this particular message, I could click on it and I can click on reply, and then I would just enter an email and it would send an email to that.
Okay. Yeah, that looks much easier.
Yeah.
Second thing is that the scenario you were describing about the forwarded email is one thing, but what I'm really trying to deal with right now is I have a couple of opt-in pages set up on a third-party platform but they're linking to my GetResponse account, which is going to a custom domain email that I have set up, through my current hosting service.
Mhm.
But that's where I want to move that over to Go Plus. Will that keep everything connected from the landing page, or I'll test it, obviously, but it sounds like I shouldn't really have to change anything there.
So if you're going to migrate things in from GetResponse, you just have to rebuild what you have in GetResponse in Go Plus somehow. So if that's an automation that you have, then that's fine. If there's a funnel that you have, then you have to recreate that.
Yeah, I didn't make that many landing pages in there. I'm using I forget what it's called now, Dyna something.
Mm-hmm.
Dyna Page, I think, but something like that. But I think really the only thing I need to move from GetResponse will be the contacts and the groups or campaigns, they call it, like how they're connected to the particular lead magnet that they signed up through, right?
And you would do that by tagging contacts, so right? So
right. So that I'll have to do manually to set it up probably for the existing ones.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Stephen.
Sure. So to close out our call today, I'm going to answer a couple of questions that Barbara's put in the chat here. Let's see. So Barbara, it says for most CRMs, you pay by number of contacts with a minimum. Blah, blah, blah. Exactly. So the first thing from Barbara said is just a comment where you can put 1,000 contacts into Go Plus, and if you never send an email, there's never another fee, right? So it's not based on contacts; it's based on how many emails you send. Barbara, your follow-up question was email migration. When you migrate your email to Go Plus, there is no history that carries over, simply because we're not moving your email inbox. What we're doing is we're connecting another system that can listen to your inbox and synchronize with it. So again, if you live in Gmail, if you live in Outlook, whatever platform you are used to using to communicate with your clients or with your people, you can continue to use that. Go Plus, we just connect Go Plus so that it is able to synchronize with that system, and it is able to use it to send automations and other.
I guess it's more about all the other information that's tracked in there.
Give me an example.
Well, I know that if I just bring the contacts over, it may not have the history of those contacts.
Correct. It will not.
Like the date they came in, that all of that's important. So yeah, that's why I have a VA.
Help
do that for me.
These are just sort of typical change management migration problems that we'll just have to kind of work through one by one. That's why, as we've talked about before, just as you think about migrating things into Go Plus, you want to give yourself a migration plan. You want to give yourself
some time.
Do it over time so that you can do it right. Yeah.
All right.
And
Richard, Stephen, sorry.
No worries.
Before you go, am I correct in saying that you are limited to only 10 courses in Go Plus?
No.
Mm.
You
Oh.
usually Experienceify, a typical Experienceify account. So either our growth package, which is what most people get, or the lifetime deal that is out there right now. It's limited to 10 courses in Experienceify.
Oh,
And if
okay.
you want more courses, you have to contact our support to unlock that.
Thank you.
No worries. Barbara, I'll close out before I push end here, is if you want to migrate lead page opt-ins and other things into Go Plus, you absolutely can do that. It's just, you have to, I think there's a one-click thing for ClickFunnels migrating, but not for lead pages, right? So
Okay.
you'd actually have to rebuild them in Go Plus.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thanks a lot, folks. Please watch our Facebook page as well as inside the Experienceify app that we will be we'll kind of have slower hours and sort of quiet time over these next 2 weeks over the holidays. We'll still be available. Our support team is available and whatnot. It just, responses may take a little bit more time, and our office hours are going to change a little bit. So we'll be communicating that tomorrow in both our Facebook group and in the Experienceify app. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
You too. Feliz Navidad.